Hello, I'm David Knight, the Executive Director for the California Community Action Partnership Association. I want to take just a few minutes to introduce myself and talk a little bit about CalCAPA and community action in general. First of all, I started community action just over 15 years ago. Started in a small community action agency in Eastern Kentucky where I came in under the Workforce Investment Act and then quickly moved over into the Community Service Block Grant. But prior to that, actually my community action experience started years ago. I grew up as a Head Start child. It was just a wonderful opportunity to really increase my family's ability to achieve. But even throughout my life, the reason I got into community action is because my mother was a social worker for years, for 2 decades, and so I grew up on the floor of a social work office. Her sister, my aunt, was a social worker. I had another uncle that was a social worker, so this social work life was always ingrained in who I was and who I grew up to be. Constantly, growing up in a family like that, you saw families that were either in the foster care system or other child welfare systems or other opportunities that just didn't create the best systems. And so having the opportunity to grow up in a situation like that really ingrained in me early on about the opportunity that something like community action really possesses. When I came in to know the network, it was right during the time that we had quite a bit of funding under the stimulus bill. What was great about that is it really gave federal dollars to local agencies and give us the opportunity to create realistic local solutions. So for someone that grew up like I did, it was just a wonderful experience to say, here's a chance to take the knowledge that I have, having lived experiences, to bring that back. But one thing I quickly learned is just because I had an experience in poverty doesn't mean that everybody did the same way. And so that was really, really important early on. Throughout my career, I also worked in both the private, for-profit sector and the nonprofit sector. And one of the things I began to realize is there's really an opportunity in this community action network to help us to be increased in being efficient and being effective in what we do. So what I was able to do is to take those skill sets that I had throughout my career and bring those into the community action network. From the East Kentucky job, I moved into being executive director. In the state of Arkansas, I was actually the youngest executive director in the state history at the age of 29 and had the opportunity to come into an agency that was struggling with change, bringing in different people, trying to decide what they wanted to be and the image that they had. In that process, I became what we call a ROMA trainer, which is results-oriented management and accountability. Had the chance to become a master ROMA trainer and really take those skills and understand what it meant to have results for the Community Action Network. I took over an agency that only had 12 employees, and from there, it evolved really, really quickly. We were able to take an organization that, like I said, that was struggling, and turn it around within 3 years, up to where we had over 100 employees, and we quadrupled our budget size for the community there. And then that's when I began to really understand just how you could take these community action agencies and really give them the opportunity to be a part of the community. And that was always a focus for me, and that's the success we've been able to have in community action. One of the things that we preach is what you do for us without us is not truly for us, and that's a really, really great opportunity. From there in my career, I was able to relocate back to Mississippi, where I actually grew up, so that was home for me. So I did go back to Mississippi and help an agency there that was more of an urban agency. And it gave me an opportunity to see the difference in both working in rural settings and urban settings. And that's so important to community action because each one of our communities are unique. So having the ability to work in multiple different states all across this country, both training and working directly for agencies, it gave me experience and gave me opportunity. About a little over 2 years ago, the CalCAPA board reached out and said, we may have an opportunity here. We're looking for a new executive director, and we're really looking for somebody that has that community action local experience. And so that's why I'm excited to be here in California. And what's so fun about California is, first of all, we have 60 community action agencies. So that's the most across the country, which gives us the greatest opportunity to really be unique that we are. We also have such a mass population that it really gives us a great chance to really work out and figure out what does work in community action. And so that's how I came into this network, and it's just been a delight to be here. And one of the things that's so wonderful about community action is it gives us the opportunity to have that local control. So we take those dollars and we say we're going to invest in a local community and allow local communities to bring those solutions. They don't wait on Sacramento to make decisions for the state. They don't wait on DC to make decisions for the country. What they're saying is these solutions are local, and we believe in the folks that are actually the services are going to. One of our cornerstones of our belief system is maximum feasible participation, and that's so important into what we do, because it doesn't just say we want families that we serve to be involved. It says we want them to have a seat at the table. We want them to be at the front of the table. We want them to be a part of that decision making. And for me, growing up in that same situation, that was so valuable to have that ability to say, our voices matter too when you're making policy decisions, when you're deciding what services to operate, when you decide what you want to do. And so that constant drive to be a part of it and to give back and to be in the middle of where the decisions are happening that affect these families just gives me a great opportunity. So it's just been a very, very wonderful journey to be here. We continue to work on a lot of opportunities for our families. And one of the biggest things that we continue to focus on is how do we become efficient and effective? One of the things you'll hear me say throughout conversations with different directors across the state is we talk about that there's never enough money, and there's never going to be enough money to help the problems that we're trying to work on. But if we focus on our performance, we are able to focus on results and outcomes, and then match that with a massive amount of outputs that we create in communities. We give our families the real true opportunity at that new American dream and what it looks like and what people can come. One of the things that Lyndon Johnson first said when he was inventing, bringing out community action in the war on poverty, he talked about it's not just enough to create the doors. You got to give people the opportunity to walk through those doors. And that's really what community action does. So I'm more than happy and delighted and just honored to continue to be the executive director for the California Community Action Partnership Association and to represent all our community action agencies across this state. Thank you for that opportunity and have a great day.